In the not-too-distant present, a challenge unlike any other begins. 3 men, 1 year, 0 game purchases. They stand against temptation, towering backlogs, and the endless lure of digital sales. This is the Year of Shame Challenge. A test of willpower, a battle against impulse, a journey into the heart of unplayed games, where only discipline survives.
Hello and welcome to season 14 of Year of Shame. No, it's not Groundhog Day. Yes, I am back again. It's me, Brian, and with me we have, on my left, Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Hello, everyone.
On my right, we have Stuart.
Hi, everybody.
So hopefully everybody's good. Should we go for what you've been up to? Shall I go first? Because I was in Ireland last time last time I was here, we were on this. I was in Ireland. I was back. My mother's not well, so she was home from hospital for the week. A week I was back. She's back in hospital now again and still there. But that's distracted me quite a bit from my gaming this month. That's not an excuse, but it's just the way it is. But I flew back from Ireland, supposed to go through Amsterdam to Japan, and sit on the plane, leaving Dublin Airport, and the plane gets cancelled. So we then 6 hours sat in Dublin Airport waiting for the next flight. Schiphol Airport apparently had a big snowstorm. There was something in Europe. Don't know what was going on, but the massive snowstorm and loads. They run out of de-icer or whatever it is that goes into the fuel. Don't think it's just the windscreen wipers they were stuck with. But Schiphol was more or less closed, and I then had to fly with very little notice. I had to fly from Dublin Airport to Heathrow. I was given an hour and a half to get from one side of Heathrow to the other to catch a new flight, get my bags onto that flight, and move on. So it didn't work out. I flew from Dublin to London, Terminal 4, and had to pick up my bags, go run across. Like a minibus was put on for us. It was myself and the old Japanese couple. We got to the gates, or not the gates, we got to the desk. We used to chuck your bags in and register for the next flight, and they closed. So, by the way, this is KLM. Never fly KLM. This will be the moral of this story. They then put me on another flight. I had to go from Terminal 2 back to Terminal 4, run for that flight. And luckily, the desk was still open for business customers. They had closed for normal customers, but they put us on. So we then flew with Air Asiana, I don't know how it's pronounced. Flew from there to Korea, and then had to run across the airport in Korea to get to the next gate, and then fly back to Tokyo. It took, I don't know, I was 10 hours delayed. It was a nightmare. Running across Heathrow was just fucking nuts. Absolutely. I was going to try and not use bad language in case any kids in work.
Sorry, kids.
Listen, don't listen to this bit. Anyway, Heathrow is a nightmare and it deserves the language. But the staff in Heathrow were excellent. They, when we're waiting for our bags to come out, 2 guys came over, they got a trolley for us, they organised a minibus to bring us across from Terminal 4 to Terminal 2. We still missed the flight. There was no way of getting there. And then when we got the next one, we just went by the train back on the Elizabeth line, and that worked out well, but it was an absolute nightmare. It was just, it left me totally jet lagged for ages. Going back.
Oh, would do, yeah. So with all the travel that I tend to do for work, I have spent more hours of my life running through airports than I'd care to ever have to do. Yeah. And I've now decided recently that I would rather leave home a day early if I'm traveling. And anytime there's a connecting flight, I book into a hotel and I sleep over that night. And so I've always got a night between connecting flights. And that just means that you're not having to worry about missing things, because if this flight is delayed and you get into the hotel late, That's all it is, just getting into the hotel late. You're still guaranteed you can get up the next morning. Most of the time, the hotel is at the airport terminal. You just walk across, check in, and go on with the next leg. And that worked really great. One of my recent flights to France, when I've done it in the past, it's been 40 hours traveling, which it doesn't matter how used to travel you are or how young you are. That is going to kill you from where I am in the world here to where they are there. And so what we ended up doing was flying from here to Perth. We stayed over the night in Perth. And then the next morning, I caught a 16-hour flight from Perth direct to Paris. Much more pleasant experience, less stressful. And you get there on time, as long as you cater for the time up front, and you build that into your travel plans, it's a much more enjoyable experience for everyone. So that's certainly my travel tip is don't try and run for planes if you can possibly help it. I know in your case it was outside of your control, but I'd rather take my time and wander through airports at my pace.
It was really annoying because KLM booked all these flights, but the airlines work in groups, so they booked flights with companies that they're part of their group. But there was a direct flight. They flew me to Heathrow, and then I had to go from Heathrow to South Korea, and then from South Korea to Japan. But there were direct flights from Heathrow to Tokyo, but they didn't put me on those because it's not part of their group. But like as bad as it was for me, there was 2 other people on my plane. One guy, he was trying to get to Lagos, I think it's Nigeria. He had tried to fly the previous day, and the flight had got cancelled because he was supposed to go through Schiphol. Maybe in Antwerp, I don't know. But he was supposed to go through Schiphol, but everything was closed in Schiphol. So he came to his next day. They were going to fly him back to Schiphol, and the flight got cancelled because there was a fault on the plane, and he just broke down. He was trying to fly back to Lagos for his mother's funeral. He had 2 flights cancelled, and so the captain came down and spoke to him and said, "Look, come with me, and I'll have you put through as though your family and get you on any flight going that way." And then there was another guy I met in the airport. He was flying to India, and they put him on a flight to Dubai and told me to have 14-hour layover in Dubai during the day, so they wouldn't put him into a hotel. So I was going to leave Dubai for 14 hours.
Jesus.
And he's like, I want to cancel. I can get a flight myself and go cheaper than this, and this is just too much hassle. So absolutely crazy. But yeah, so I think it was 10 hours late by the time I got home. A lot of running, so I've done my exercise for the year. But it was fun. I met this old Japanese couple in the airport in Heathrow. We were collecting our bags. They were having the same thing as me, and the whole way along we just kept each other going. When we were looking for signs, it was like 3 sets of eyes looking for the sign so we could get there quickly. But it was quite good. They were really helpful and really nice couple. But they had minimal English and I had minimal Japanese. But between that and Google, we were able to get through. So that was that was my biggest event of the start of this month. Have you ever heard of something else? Then I went to Skiji. Have you ever heard of Skiji in Tokyo?
Skiji.
No.
It was the fish market, the old fish market in Tokyo. It's where if you hear of each year there's an auction for tuna at the start of the year, and they go for millions of yen, so that's like tens of thousands of sterling. I was going to say dollars, but so Skiji closed down and they moved it to a new place called Toyosu, and we went there recently. So we had spent the day there. There's loads of sushi restaurants if you're into sushi, or loads of fish restaurants with cooked fish. But we went there, nice food, and then went to an onsen because there's a natural spring there with the water coming up out of the ground. And they've piped it up to between the 5th and 10th floor. So they've just got loads of baths at different places along. So we spent there, and you have some of the baths are inside the building, but some of them are outside. So you go outside and you've just got Tokyo right in front of you.
Wow.
And we were there for sunset and right into the night, so you get to see Tokyo all light up, and it's a really good view. You're sitting there in the bath, absolutely naked, with loads of other men all around you because they separate the sexes. But it was really good. I'm not a huge fan of these I like private onsens, but the view from this was amazing. So I would recommend anybody coming to Japan, try to go to Toyosu. So try to go there, go to the onsen, enjoy it. This place, Japanese love onsens. So you go into it, you'll have just, if you can pay extra to have massages done, but you have relaxation areas. So you can go in a chair that'll lie back flat. They have a TV there. You can listen to music. The PowerPoints and all the chairs, so you can charge your phone if you wanted that. They also have walls and walls of manga that if you want to read. I mean, it's like they want like 7 walls around this room, all different sections, all just full of different manga, and the Japanese love reading them. It's quite good, and they hit like 2 restaurants then as well, so you can eat. And a place that Japanese people go and spend the whole day. It is really weird as you see like groups of friends, because I would never have thought about doing that with my friends, but they all meet up and go, or you get families in there. It's quite cool thing. And let me see. The only other news I have, I'm meeting up with somebody called GH Rocker, or Antonio, from Veteran. Well, he's a contributor on Veteran Gamers. Meeting up with him tomorrow for dinner, all going well, provided we can both find each other. So he has a YouTube channel, GHAM, GHAM, I guess, or GHAMM. He does lots of YouTube videos about amusement parks. So nice bloke. Hopefully, I've chatted to him a lot during the COVID lockdown era. So hopefully, the first time we meet each other tomorrow. And that's about all my news about what I've been doing. Who wants to go next? Rich?
Yeah, I can talk about my January. So I've put down a few bullets of highlights. So they include recording the first podcast with the Year of Shame 13 crew. So that was really, really exciting to do that. And I think we did that. Was that January 3? We did that. Yep. So super early in the year. And we've had a little bit of fun just doing a few kind of voiceovers and things with Audacity to get ready for this podcast. So a little bit of kind of technical learning has been happening. My life's been dominated a little bit by, I'm in the middle of a house sale and purchase. So you can imagine it's super busy. That's getting to the crunch end of things. You know, perfect thing to do when you're trying to cram in podcasts and all of that kind of stuff. Busy printing off forms and getting to contract stage at the moment. So lots of signing things, just tapping up random neighbours, asking them to witness signatures and sorting out removals, crews. I've got no idea how complicated it all is. So I've only ever moved house when it's just been me or me and the missus, where you can pretty much just get a white van man with a van to come and help you, and you just sling it all in and do it. But now that there's a family and there's loads of beds and furniture, it's all a logistical thing. So that's quite likely to happen in February, touch wood. So that's been super busy. I've pretty much been kind of working by day and then doing paperwork and answering solicitors' questions by night. I've done a little bit of well, it's the only stress really has been the waiting, just waiting and waiting, because there's a whole chain and waiting for everybody else and all the solicitors to do their things. They only seem to work on a Friday afternoon, so I just wait the entire week, and I just know inevitably I'm going to get a phone call at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock on a Friday asking me a question that if I answer it immediately isn't going to get dealt with until the next Friday. So that's been, that is what it is. I've been doing a little bit of fitness stuff. I've learnt a new word, calisthenics. So I don't know whether this is one of these made-up words to make just standard exercise sound more fancy or more appealing. But it's quite a handy thing, because it's basically just exercises you can do with no weights, no equipment, all of that kind of stuff. So I'd put on a bit of weight during last year. So I had a bit of a mystery illness last year, that this time last year actually, where I literally had like super mega headaches consistently, and not just like annoying, oh, I've got a headache, but like lying down thinking, oh my God, I need a hospital type headaches. And I got put on some medication for that, and that made me put on a bit of weight. So that plus all of the Christmas eating and drinking, and January the 1st, it was like, right, I've got to sort something out. So I've managed to do some exercise, eat more healthily. I've been able to cut down the meds that I'm taking because I am feeling a lot better this year. And the combination of those three things has meant I've lost the best part of 11-12 pounds since January the 1st.
nice.
So I'm kind of feeling pretty sprightly. And what else have I been doing? So one of the reasons I've got to leave this recording at a stage in a couple of hours time is to take my son to a football match. So he's just kind of gotten old enough to get into that sort of thing. So we have quite nice father and son time. I take him to see Bristol City, which is my local team. I'm not really a supporter, but I thought it'd be really good just on a Saturday to be able to just spend the afternoons with him. And he's getting old enough now that kind of thing might be the chance where he's, if he's got any kind of worries at school and stuff, he can reach out in a bit of kind of dad time. So we'll be doing that this afternoon. And then my only other kind of life highlight is actually through this podcast. I can't remember, I think whether it was one of you or somebody else or somebody somewhere ended up getting in touch with Chinny, who is also veteran gamers. And then we found this connection where Chinny, I did a road trip about a decade ago, and Chinny was working as, he did some work for Aston Villa and was doing like video editing and stuff. And he put together a video of this road trip I did. It was like a charity road trip across the Andes and the Amazon. And he'd made this video a decade ago and put it on a private YouTube link, which has long since kind of expired. And he popped into one of my streams last week and said hello. And we got talking about it. And I said, "Oh, the link to the video's gone. I can't watch it anymore." And off he went and said, "Oh, I'll get that back for you." So he sent that through to me last week. So I've just spent a little bit of time reminiscing on fantastic road trips.
Nice one.
So yeah,
Cool.
That's been my January. How about you, Stuart? What have you been up to?
Well, so the end of last year, beginning of this year, we had a bit of a holiday in South Australia. My son went to Japan for the Christmas break, and so he was over there touring around Brian's part of the world, around Tokyo. And so we had, a family Christmas of just myself and my wife, and we thought, we'll go to South Australia and visit some friends that have got a farm out there. And it was a really good place to go. They got the water sort of goes out from the coastline for like a kilometer before it gets even deep enough to run a boat on. And so they end out every single shack, as they call these little holiday houses, has got a tractor parked outside of it. And first thing in the morning, the tractors all go down to the waterfront and they take the boats out, that kilometer out. And then the tractor just spends its whole life in the water. And then when they finish fishing at the end of the day, they bring the boat back into the tractor, and then the tractor drives it back up onto the land. So you go out during the day and you just see all these tractors all parked out in the water like abandoned vehicles.
That's so weird.
But the water was crystal clear and the weather was just fantastic. So that was a really good little break. And then beginning of the year, started back up at work again. And very quickly we've got back into the usual pattern of things, So trips to Melbourne, trips all over the show. Nothing international yet, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I know there's a couple of big trips that are coming up. Some of them not quite to Europe, but certainly to Canada and places like that. So they're going to be long haul flights. That's going to be sort of Brian type travel. So I'm not looking forward to that at all. But yeah, other than that, it's just been doing things around the house. The grass never stops growing, for God's sake. It's always growing. It always needs cut. And the garden always needs a bit of care, So between that and work, there's not a lot of hours left.
Can I ask you, do you guys like gardening?
God, no.
That's
Bane of my existence.
I used to live just outside Colchester on a house that was on the corner, and we had so much fucking grass. Oh my God, language, Brian. We had so much grass. It'd take me 3 hours just going up and down with a lawnmower, and oh my God, I hate. And then there was like weeding, and I don't like jobs you can't finish. And gardening,
there's
is one of them. So it's like living in an apartment is brilliant. I have no garden at all. It's just
There's a lot to be said for AstroTurf.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Or fire. Just get rid of it all. I can't.
Yeah.
I hate.
The big problem we have around here, though, is if the grass gets too long, we get snakes. And so we've had our neighbor next door. He had an Alsatian dog that just one morning he was having his cup of tea and he looked out the window, and then he turned around and looked again, and the dog was lying there dead because a snake had taken it. And it's, the snakes here you don't mess around with. They're serious stuff. We've had one of our cats was taken with a snake, and yeah, she was tiny, and our neighbor over the back shouted and said, "Hey, your cat's lying in a driveway. Come and look at her." And it was too late, So yeah, you don't want to you don't want to have them around. You want to get rid of any space that they would find attractive. So keeping your grass short is mandatory.
I was going to say, I bet you're just mowing the lawns like the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
I'd either number one move, or number two just be mowing the lawn. Get a set of tweezers out, be pulling the grass out.
Wow. You need like armor to wear just on your legs just to walk around.
No, it's Australia. Everything's trying to kill you, so you got to make sure that you keep yourself safe.
Is it any safer in Tasmania? Are you cooler than mainland?
No, we have funnel web spiders here. We have snakes here. We have all sorts that would take you out very quickly. So yeah, kids are taught not to put their fingers in holes in the ground because you don't know what's in there. And if you're wandering around your garden in bare feet, you need to keep your eyes open.
Gonna keep an eye on the background behind you just in case we see something moving.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my God.
Crazy. You guys over in different bits of the world, do you have the Blue Monday thing? So UK, I think it was I think it's Monday this week, so whatever date that was, 19th, is Blue Monday, like the most depressing day of the year where everyone's been back at work for 2 weeks. I wondered whether it's just a UK concept or whether the world also suffers this.
No, I thought you were talking about my ringtone. It's been Blue Monday for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
The New Order song, though, nothing to do with mental health.
No, I don't think that here. They're just so, I don't want to say mechanical, but that they just accept work. Like most people here work. I start at 8. The teachers are there before me from 7. They leave maybe 9 o'clock in the evening. So they all work long hours. And they just accept it. That's just normal for them. They don't. I don't say they don't know any better, but they don't know any alternative. If you're smart, you'll try to get working for a European company who will bring their work ethos with them. Like number of holidays and stuff. The minimum must be 10, which is what I started on. I think the maximum I've ever heard anybody on is 20. Like in Europe, you're on 25, going up more as a maximum. Especially if you're like in Germany or into the 30s. Here, no, they don't. They just accept it, and it's normal.
We do have a day in September, which probably equates to the middle of our winter sort of dark period.
Yeah.
Called Are You OK Day, where you're encouraged to reach out to everybody around you, and somebody that might be a remote worker, just check in with them and just make sure that they're doing all right and that they're not feeling too down. It's a suicide prevention day, but as I say, that's in September. Yeah, so it's nothing to do with going back to work.
No, but that's probably a seasonal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. What have you been watching? Rich, do you want to go first again?
Yeah, sure. So I've been watching a few things actually. That's one of the things me and the missus do on an evening. So we've got kids clubs and school, and both of us working and stuff. So just flopping down in front of the telly is something that we both enjoy. So a few things on the list already in January. So Pluribus, I won't spoil it because I know that you've been watching it as well, Brian.
Thank you.
Really good. It's a very slow burn. So I'm going to give away no plot here, but it's a slow burn. So it's made by the same people as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I think is it Vince Gilligan?
That's it. Yeah.
So it's got that kind of Netflix production values and the same. Just all the cinematography is just absolutely beautiful, really kind of crisp and clean. Very slow burn, mysterious plot, and an incredible acting job, because I think pretty much, I don't know, about 50% plus of the whole thing is just one character in a kind of solitary state, and it is something to behold. Actually, she's very intense, and it's kind of captivating, but it is such a slow burner because you spend most of the series, if not all of the series, I won't spoil, just sort of kind of wondering what's going to happen. So it rewards, I think it rewards patience, and I can see that some people, especially if they've enjoyed the rough and tumble of Breaking Bad, might find it a bit dull. But I quite like a kind of slow, meandering movie or series, so I've been enjoying that. On the other end of the scale, I've watched Nine Bodies in a Mexican Morgue. Don't know whether you've heard of that one.
No.
It's a short series. I think it's maybe 6 episodes or so. It's the classic kind of plane comes down, and then how do the passengers respond? There's a lot of murdering. There's a lot of mystery. It's terribly acted. It's really bad acting, but I found it, I think probably because it was quite a short series, very, very addictive. Just trying a bit of a whodunit, really. So very addictive plot wise. So I enjoyed that. Another thing I won't be spoiling is The Traitors. So I don't know whether you guys take in UK Traitors.
No, Paul was big into that last year. I haven't watched. I'm not into reality shows at all. I should probably give a look. Cause he mentioned the Irish one was quite good as well.
Yeah, it's top-notch social deduction game where there's 20 odd people put into a house, and X number of them are deemed to be traitors, and every day they vote to get rid of somebody, and then they reveal whether they were a faithful or a traitor, and they do tasks during the day, and that earns them money in the pot, and there's a chance to gain yourself a shield so that you're immune to the traitors doing a murder overnight. So there's all sorts of little sub-levels of things going on. But it's I mean, the main thing to enjoy about it is I think because as a viewer, you know exactly what's going on, but all the people in the game haven't got a clue what's going on. And you just watch these people either trying to manipulate situations or just generally like melting down, just having an absolute nightmare, coming up with theories that everybody latches onto that is completely wrong. So they end up kind of ostracizing somebody because they looked in the wrong direction at some stage of the day. So that's super addictive, and that came to a finale last night. I've watched season 4 of Slow Horses. I've been busy watching telly. I kind of just tend to kind of munch through seasons of stuff. So Slow Horses, it's a kind of like MI6 type or MI5 type thing, kind of silly, but again beautifully shot, and that's kind of full of action. It's kind of good trash. And then really alongside that, I've been reading Wolf Hall. So I've never been a good reader. I typically kind of read 1 or 2 books a year. And then when the Game of Thrones books came out, I mean, they were massive, chunky books. I got into those and actually, it loved the story, but also getting through 1,000-page books because I wanted to, so it helped with the reading thing. And then last year, or I might have just been the year before, I got myself a e-reader, which I've always been anti. I've always liked to kind of, the physical book. But I got myself an e-reader, partly because quite often I pick up a book and you kind of open it to start reading it. And if the font's really small, or if the font is not an agreeable font, straight away on page 1, you're like, I don't like this book. I'm not gonna find it pleasant reading this book. So with the e-reader, you can obviously put the font whatever size you like. You can make it whatever font you like, so you can have a nice agreeable font. But the biggest thing for me is that it's changed the way I read. So previously it would always be like I need a slot of time to do my reading. I'll pick up a book and I need a good kind of 20-minute, half an hour chunk to go at it, and then I'd start that. And reading generally makes me tired, so I just fall asleep and read 2 pages a day. But with the e-reader, what I found is it's substituted in for scrolling time on the phone. So if I'm just sitting down on the sofa and the kids are like watching telly or whatever, I can just pick up my e-reader, read 5 or 6 pages, then some distraction will happen. I can just knock it off, and then 10 minutes later pick it back up. And I never thought I'd be able to read like that. But now I can. So I've got through like 25 books last year. So I've taken on Wolf Hall, which is it's all like Henry VIII stuff, and again, big old chunky book, and obviously doing Year of Shame stuff as well. I haven't got massively far through it, but it's pretty good so far. So I've been enjoying all of that. So that's
Do you
me.
use a Kindle? Is it a Kindle or
use
something like that?
it's a thing called a Kobo. So
Oh yeah.
I went into a courier's store and asked them about Kindles when I was going to make my purchase. And actually, the member of staff was really good because they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got all the Kindles here." But he said, "But actually, I use a Kobo. We don't have any in stock, but you can get them from this other shop down the road." And he showed me it, and I was taken with it. So I've gone for something a bit different there.
Yeah. I don't. I've been looking at, and it's not uploading. It's called TCL Note Next paper. It's like a tablet crossed with a e-reader. If I had
Okay.
400 quid spare, I would do it. But it's on Kickstarter at the moment. But it looks like a cross. So it's got an LCD screen rather than an e-ink screen, but you can watch videos on it as well. It's not a high spec tablet, but it's quite good. It's supposed to be quite good. Somebody gives me 400 quid, I'll be on that, because you can make notes.
You were saying when we recorded the last show that you'd quite like something to read manga on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking actually because the e-ink, I mean the Kobo that I've got is color, so it's meant to be good for that kind of stuff. But you've got two problems: the screen is quite small, and also the resolution isn't great. So I'd have thought for stuff like manga that what you're talking about would probably be a little bit better. You'd get a better kind of DPI or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have thought so.
On Kickstarter. Yeah, go on, sir.
No, I was going to say, yeah, I would have thought so as well. Certainly the Amazon Kindles. We've had, I think I'm on my 4th Kindle now because we've had them for years and years and years. And they're certainly great for reading books on. As Rich said, you can change the font and you can change the size, which I find very useful. And it's also nice that you can turn it on in the middle of the night without waking your partner up because it's fairly self-contained light. So you can read without having other light available to you. But I would have thought that certainly for something like manga where, it needs a bit more detail, it wouldn't be ideal. So I would be looking for something a bit bigger. Like, as you say, Brian, something that's more tablet size, I think would be a better fit for you.
Just a matter of getting 400 quid together. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just keep buying those lottery tickets.
When you're working minimum wage in Japan, it's not good. But
yeah.
Keep looking at this. I keep opening Kickstarter and looking and going, well, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see.
So,
maybe by the time I could afford it to have a better one out. So.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. There's always a new shiny coming,
Yeah. When I was working in the UK, I was earning more, so that was great. Could look at Kickstarter. I like that. What did I go for? Well, but now I agree. It's different. But yeah. Anyways, Stuart, what have you been up to, or what have you been watching?
So my viewing tends to be, compared to last year where you guys were always watching some weird horror movie that's only been watched by 4 individuals worldwide. Mine tend to be a lot more mainstream, right? So the usual things. I watched the final season of Stranger Things. It was, it's a show. People are losing their minds about it, but it's a show like any other. You take it as it comes. Fallout Season 2 is still ongoing. I'm really enjoying that. It's really been true to the game so far. I'm really impressed by how close they've sticking to things. We watched a movie. We had a family movie night one night. Watched one called Wake Up Dead Man, which is a Knives Out mystery. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, wonderful! I love the Knives Out stuff.
Yeah, so they had Knives Out and they had The Glass Onion. This is the 3rd one in the series, and it was really good fun, And then I made a terrible mistake, and I decided to spend time sitting watching Tron Ares. Dear God, that is time I'm never getting back in my life. I should have ended it the minute that the main actor decides they're gonna hack the system with a quick basic program. It was like, that's it. You should be out right now. Just close your laptop and walk away because it's not gonna get any better.
Oh no.
No. And then other than that, I've mentioned to a couple of you guys, I got hooked watching this series on YouTube. called Jetlag the Game.
Yes.
And there's 15 seasons of the damn thing. And each season is only, between 4 and 7 episodes long. But they play like real world games. So they'll do, Connect Four across the states of America. And they have to travel to each state and do a task to claim that state and then get 4 of them in a row to win the game, or they do chase the flag across Japan, or one of the episodes I was watching was playing, the old Nokia game Snake. Well, they're playing Snake on the rail lines in Europe somewhere. And it's like, just, different watching. So I've been really enjoying that. I managed to churn my way through all 15 seasons of it in 1 month. And then alongside that, it's really just been a couple of episodes of Taskmaster here and there. I really enjoy watching Taskmaster UK, and we get it on one of our streaming services here. So I tend to watch that on a Saturday morning. And then outside of that, I started reading the Wheel of Time series. There's like 14 books in the entire set, and reading it on my Kindle. And I'm the same as you guys. I tend to read one page and then fall asleep, and then that's me for the day. I'm going to turn it on the next night. I'll have to go back half a page and then read a page and then fall asleep again. And so it takes me a long time to get through these books. I'm on book 7 of 14 at the moment. But I think if I do another status update for the next 12 months, I'll probably still be on book 7. It's an instant knockout for me. As soon as I climb into bed, I open the Kindle up, and it's like, nah, that's it, I'm gone. One page in.
He's very slow. It feels like in his books he decided he needed to extend because he needed more money, and he's
definitely
pages and pages just describing a saddle or a tree or something. It's just like, fuck, get the stuff done. So I was under the impression they released newer versions. I'm going to say abridged, but where they cut out a lot of the faff. But
okay,
I don't know if that's true or not. But
no, there's still a slog.
Yeah,
I
read through them while the TV show was on, but the unfortunate TV show is not going to finish off. But they're good books.
And so, other than that, the only other things, they are definitely long books. The only other things I've been doing is I'm still building this computer from the 1970s. I'm still getting bits and pieces coming in from various parts of the internet that I've ordered things from. It's a Science of Cambridge Mark 14 computer, which predates Sinclair that made the ZX Spectrums and the ZX81s. This was the company they were before they became Sinclair. And so one of the bits I needed to get was it was like a little 9-character screen that you used to get on like old calculators. And so I found somebody that had one of these screens for sale, and they sent it to me, and it arrived, and I got everything set up, got the soldering iron out, and I started soldering on the little connectors for it. And as the soldering iron touched the PC board connectors, they just went dust, and it just disintegrated. So I've now got another 3 of them coming from someplace in the Ukraine, which should arrive this week. Let's hope one of the 3 I can actually end up using and it doesn't turn to dust in my hands.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then the final thing I'm doing is I think I might have mentioned to you on a previous chat, Brian, I'm watching this guy on YouTube 3D printing a Porsche GT3.
Yes.
So he went out and he bought himself a Porsche Boxster, and he got the body mold for a Porsche GT3. And he's now printing out all these little panels for it and then gluing them all together and building them onto this Porsche to turn it from a Boxster into a GT3, which is, a vastly different quality of car. And he's now got it on the road. He was fitting the turbo on the last episode, and it looks the part, This is the same guy who bought a whole bunch of various bits and pieces and built himself a Lamborghini out of nothing. And now he takes it to all these car shows and just drifts it around the track in this fake Lamborghini,
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. So that's me. That's been my month so far.
Okay.
How about yourself, Brian?
What did I watch when I was on the planes? I watched many planes. I watched Weapons. I don't know if you've seen this. Paul mentioned it last time. You've seen it. It's a sort of horror movie, I think, or thriller. But I thought the first 2/3 or so were brilliant, really good. really tense, and then at the end it really dropped. Really, that it didn't hit the mark. Basically, it wasn't like good. It became a bit silly. So ultimately I wouldn't recommend it. But the first 2/3 were really good, and then I didn't like the way it went at the very end. I watched the final Mission Impossible, Final Paycheck. Probably the worst of the entire season, to be honest. It's not good. It's maybe it suffered because it was on a small screen on the airplane, but it looked like the actors were phoning it in, to be honest. It was good to see Luther. It's what's his name, Ving Rhames back, because he's quite ill, I believe. And Tom Cruise has actually arranged his part specifically because he was ill, so he doesn't move much. But it was the show itself. It was not good. The movie was not good.
Yeah,
but
very silly, isn't it?
It is.
The fights on the biplane and that sort of stuff. It's like, oh, come on.
It really was. I don't know. Amazing stunts, but the story was just absolutely silly. The big bad AI going to take over the world. It just really wasn't good.
I think if you're watching it on a plane, essentially you're missing all of the set piece, glorious action goodness, which is 99% of the film, and pretty much what you're left with is the plot, which under focus is probably a disaster in all of them.
That's probably true. I wonder if we get sponsorship to watch the entire lot of them, pay for us to watch them on the plane, just to focus on the plot. But yeah, probably come back saying they're all crap. But yeah, it just was not good. It was not good. And maybe I'll watch it later on the big TV or something.
I remember watching World War Z. Was that a movie? With Brad Pitt? Yeah. And I watched that on a plane. And it made absolutely no sense because they cut bits out of it. So there's a scene where they're all on this plane. Spoiler alert coming in, right? They're all on the plane and there's zombies are all in the back of it. And they go into the back to go and battle everybody, but it crashes the plane. They cut that entire bit out. So you see a door opening and then suddenly they're effectively walking out of the plane going, so dusting themselves off. And you think, what just happened? This massive, critical part of the plot just wasn't there anymore because I was watching it on the wrong format.
Oh no! Yeah, I always wonder because some of the movies you can watch on there were quite graphic or they're quite gruesome. That's what that. They must cut most of that out because you could have a kid in the next, just over and behind watching the movie over your shoulder. So
I don't know if you do. I seem to remember watching. There was American Gods was a series that was quite big a couple of months ago. I'm probably going to find it was a couple of years ago now. But I remember watching a couple of episodes of that when I was on one of the planes. And there was a lot of graphic nudity in it. And you're like, oh, geez, I might have to stop this because I don't know who's sitting behind me,
Yeah. That's because I watched a lot of Pluribus I'm up to the episode. I watched episode 6 of Pluribus. I think there's 9, so there's 3 more episodes left. But there's one scene in that I was watching it on the plane, and the guy is in the bath, and there's lots of people walking around outside, and it looked like they were naked. I thought I've got to close my laptop because I'm not watching this in front of kids. So I was like, fast forward through it all. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do on the movies. But yeah, it's very odd. Pluribus is very, very, very slow, which is okay. But I hope it's going someplace. I really want something to happen at the end, something to go. It is very interesting watching people exploit the situation and others getting freaked out by it. It's interesting. But wait till I've finished the whole thing before I give a full declaration on how good it is. The only other thing I've watched is Man on Fire. Really old movie. Denzel Washington, very vintage movie. He plays an alcoholic CIA agent, officer or whatever. He's basically looking for redemption for whatever stuff he's done in the past. Probably invading Venezuela or something, I don't know. But that's going to get us picked up. Extra viewers from the CIA. Yay. But the movie itself, it wasn't great. I have to admit, it wasn't that great. I do like him. I think he's a good actor. I love the Equalizer movies, which are far better movies. Probably haven't got great stories if I watch them on a small screen, but I liked those movies. But this movie, Man on Fire, I didn't think it was that good, to be honest. So that's basically all I've watched. If we move on to what you've been playing, Rich, do you want to go first? Because I reckon you have most games.
I don't know. I do tend to kind of flit in and out of games. So there's quite a long list, but I don't have tons to say about all of them. So let's have a little look here. So there's a couple of games I've completed, a couple of games I've had a little dabble with, and a couple of games that are evergreen games that I'm always playing. So I'll start with the ones that I've just dabbled with. So just after New Year, I picked up and I put this on a handheld. It's a game called Skald, Skald, Against the Black Priory, and it's a super old school RPG. I think this was one of the epic 12 Days of Christmas giveaway games.
Yes, yeah.
And I really enjoyed playing it on a handheld. I mean, it's super low res graphics, and you can choose options to make it look like an old CRT monitor and all of that kind of stuff. So I mean, the graphics are bad, and you've got options to make them even worse if that's your bag. And it's quite interesting. I've only played it for a couple of hours, and then I put it down and got distracted by other things. But that's, for me, this is exactly what Year of Shame is about: is picking up and trying games that you probably wouldn't otherwise have done. So I quite enjoyed it. I got through what I think was the prologue of it, and then I did try it on the PC, and then I had two problems. The cross save didn't work, so I don't know whether that's an Epic thing or a just a this game thing, but it didn't pick up my progress. And then I faffed about and managed to copy and paste files from one device to the other and get it back to the stage I was at. And then I put it on the big monitor, and it looked horrendous because you've on a handheld, I don't know, the kind of low res graphics seemed to kind of work, and then on the big screen I was like, I can't play this on this screen. So a couple of hours into that, I've put a couple more hours into Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is just an absolute monster epic silly game, and it's one of my aims for the year is to actually get through that. I've probably been playing it for 2 years. It's probably a 60-70 hour RPG thing, and then a bit like Grand Theft Auto and stuff. There's millions of side quests, there's side games, and when you first encounter them, you don't know whether they're things that you're supposed to be doing or whether they're literally just entertainment on the side. So you plow a load of time into it, then you realize it's of no consequence whatsoever. So off going down rabbit holes, and I'm trying to just get through the plot. I've not played any of the other Yakuza games or the first Like a Dragon game, so I don't know any of the characters, but they're all good fun. But there's this sprawling story and backstory and people double crossing each other from 3 games prior and stuff like that. It looks stunning, and I've just got to an area where I've hit a boss fight and it's really hard. So I've got to go back out and do a bit of grinding and leveling before I kind of carry that one on. I've played a bit of Rocket League. So Rocket League's my kind of go-to game through the year. I think I've set myself a little bit of a challenge for the year to get myself up to champ rank. I'm currently diamond, so it goes bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, champ, grand champ, supersonic legend. But they kind of, it's like a pyramid almost. So you've only got a couple of people who are supersonic legend, a few more the next rank down, and so on. So I mean, I've been at this rank for, I don't know, probably the best part of 18 months. So it's a long slog to get out, but it's a good game to pick up and play for half an hour that turns into 2 hours. Played a bit of Ark Raiders. So I had a game of Ark Raiders with Ben last week, which was good fun. I think it was one of his kind of first few raids that he'd done. So I went in and started aggroing all of the big monster beasts, giving him a heart attack. So that was good fun, and I enjoy that, and that's going to be, we'll talk about that when we get to the questions a bit, I think. That's going to be a bit of a fixture for me this year. And then 3 more, so 2 that I've completed. I finished off a game called Truberbrook, which I'd got on the Nintendo Switch, and I'd picked up and done what I do with a lot of games, which is, play the first 3 or 4 hours, think it's great, and then forget it even exists. So I picked that back up with a view to finishing it. It's a bit of a point and click adventure type thing, set in Germany, so lots of amazing German accents, completely bonkers, like science, space travel kind of theme, but just a kind of funny dialogue, peaceful game. The controls are a bit infuriating, and actually the game started a lot better than it finished. So towards the end, I was struggling because I needed an item off a tree, and it was a pixel that I hadn't found, and I kind of got hard stuck. And it was fun. It's one of those games that I was probably right to pick it up, try it, enjoy it, and put it down. But got it finished, and that's a tick. And then Viewfinder, which I won't talk too much about because I think both of you will get onto it. But I had a good time with Viewfinder. Again, it was a epic free giveaway just this side of the new year. So it's nice to go in there. I'd heard a lot of good things about it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Quite a short game, which I like. Kind of for me, probably 5 or 6 hours. It might have been less for you in particular, Stuart, but I cracked through that. And then last one. So I found myself last week, and then this is the way that I game, is that I'll be playing 2 or 3 things kind of seriously, and then I'll decide that I don't want to play any of those things and I need to try something new. So it was almost like my first wobble. I was like, I need a new game. But of course, I went to the backlog and I was looking down it, and because I've looked down the backlog so many times in the past, that what I wanted was a game that I didn't know I had. So I found a game called Astrea, Astrea, Six-Sided Oracles. Picked it up, had a little look at the Steam video for it, and basically it's Slay the Spire, but with dice instead of cards.
Okay.
A total clone. So you've got your same thing. You've got your different kind of builds, your different characters that lends to a particular type of build. You work your way up a little map where you've got a choice of whether you have an easy battle, a hard battle, or there's places where you can pick up coins or augment your cards/dice. And you work your way up the screen. There's a boss at the top, and then if you beat the boss, you start again on a second level and then a third level. And then when you beat the third boss, you've kind of completed that character and move on to the next one. So there's 6 characters in it as per sides of the dice, and I had a brilliant time with it. I just thought it was one of those, I'd try it for an hour, but I played it a couple of days consecutively, completed off the first character, and had a great time because you can, rather than just getting new cards and trashing cards, it's dice for a start. So you've got dice, you can sometimes get new dice, but you've always got a choice between low, medium and high risk ones. So you get a low risk dice and it would give you lots of kind of small buffs. You get a high risk one, on 2 sides of the 6 it would have an enormous buff, but on 4 sides of the 6 it would have a massive debuff.
Wow.
So really interesting kind of mechanics there. And then you can also, at certain stages, you can augment the dice where you can change one side of the dice to be something different. So you end up with these great builds where you pick a high risk die that is rubbish at the beginning of your run, but you can augment it so that actually 4 or 5 sides out of 6 are pretty solid. So I had a great time with that. And that was kind of perfect Year of Shame stuff. Pick up a random game you didn't even know existed and love every minute of it.
That's good. And you're streaming most of this as well?
I'm streaming most of it, yeah. I try. I mean, most of the time that I'm playing games, I do it on stream now, just because of the kind of limited amount of time. It's like if I didn't stream it, then I wouldn't be playing many games or wouldn't be streaming much. So I generally sling on whatever I'm playing. And I find that I do get a bit of help. So certainly with Viewfinder, which is a puzzle game, I'd have taken. Well, I'd have got hard stuck. So essentially, somebody in my chat managed to finish the game for me.
That's going to be like PlayStation's bringing out an AI thing to give people a hint or help. It'll be a ghost character. It'll show you where to go, or how to do the next move, or even take on the next battle for you. That's like you're basically getting that on Twitch, so it's quite cool. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, if anybody heard motorbikes going past, we have a thing in Japan called bozozak. They are typically teenagers who are bored, who have loud motorbikes and like to pull up outside people's houses and just start revving. okay during the day usually, not when you're recording, but worse when it's about 2 a.m. and they're doing it. But yeah, so sorry about that. If anybody heard the motorbike going on, anyway,
All good.
Rich, pass you back to Rich.
No, that's me. That's me finished. How?
Do you want to go, Stu, and then we'll keep Viewfinder to the end, and we'll
Yeah,
close it.
sure.
That's it.
Well, there's a game that I started playing in December called Skiggle, and it's a weird one because it's like a Vampire Survivors game. I don't know if anybody else has heard of it, but the map is actually just full of like power-ups, and so you end up playing the map to progress your game, and it's got me hooked. You know, that's my go-to if I need to just turn my brain off and just, you know, play something without thinking about it. So that's been pretty good. Wreckfest is my weekly game that I try and play with some local buddies down here, and we've been playing that for years and years now, and so that still gets played regularly when I'm at home on a Thursday night. I managed to play and finish Horus at the beginning of the month, and that was one that had been on my list forever and never got any love. And then when I decided I was going to do the Year of Shame and started looking through my list in December, I noticed it, but I managed to finish that this month. So that was nice to finish that off. There's a game called Redacted in square brackets that I've been playing this month as well, it's like a, you know, play, die, rinse, repeat type thing, where you're gradually building up your skill base and getting better and better as you go. But you're dumped onto this space station with up to 4 or 5 other characters, and you're all racing to get to the last escape pod and having to go through different rooms to get to the end. So you're not only trying to get as far through the map as possible, but you're also racing against the clock and trying to build up the skill sets required to penalize the other sort of non-playable characters, to delay them so that you get to the thing before them. Haven't got anywhere near beating them yet, but that looks like it could be quite interesting. So I'll keep hammering through that one.
It's got a great art style. I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Satellite Rain is another one I played this month again, and it's one that I've been playing for months and months and months. It's like a spiritual successor to what was the Syndicate and Syndicate Wars. So it's made by some of the same team that made those games, and you can certainly see that when you look at the art style. It's very, very cyberpunky, very future state. Again, you're controlling 4 little operatives, and you get to go through the map and try and take over these corporations. I think I'm at the end of that. If I haven't finished it already, I'm very close to the end. It's difficult to tell because you end up cycling back and going through the map and try to do other bits and pieces here and there. So that was one of the next games I played. And then Viewfinder as well. Viewfinder was not even on my radar. And I saw Rich playing it at the start of the month and thought, well, I wonder what that is. Let's go and have a look. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. We can have a chat once Brian's had a chance to say his bit on it, but I really enjoyed playing through that. Smashed through that world very quickly and finished that this month. And then Zombie Driver HD. I mean, the name just screams quality, doesn't it?
Pure class.
I think this is one of these little sort of mobile apps that managed to transition over to the PC at some point and gained an HD in the activity of moving. But it's a fun game. You know, it's a top-down mass shooter. Try and do all the missions. Try and save whatever the target of the mission is, and then get back home again. So yeah, another one that I turn on when I want to turn off my brain. Claire Obscure. I mentioned in the last episode that I was really enjoying that. I've hit a hard wall there. Man, I just cannot get past this damn boss battle. So I've had to go back and do a bit of grinding to try and power up, and I might have to do some more investigation as to how I should be setting my characters up for best outcomes, because it's just giving me a hiding every time I try and get there, you know? So I'll keep pushing through that, but I've put that on the back burner because it was frustrating me a little bit. And I thought, you know what? Let's switch over to something that's a wee bit easier on the brain. Let's do Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh wow.
And so I'm getting, apologies for the language thing here, Brian, but I'm getting my arse handed to me on that as well. And so last night I got tired of the frustration of trying to get through some of these boss battles on Baldur's Gate 3. I thought, what can I play that's just a complete change? And then, thanks to Ben from last season and his sowing the seeds of potential, going all the way back to the start of gaming, I decided to dig up Mass Effect Spectrum and play Highway Encounter. And I managed to finish that last night. So that's a game that's been on my list possibly for 40 years.
That's got to be the longest any game's been on anybody's list.
I remember I'm the guy that did every single level of Sentinel Returns as well.
Yes, yeah.
All 1,000 of them.
Oh, wow.
So, so that's my completion list so far.
Being stubborn.
No, it possibly is, yeah. So we've definitely got Horus, we've definitely got Viewfinder and Highway Encounter, and possibly Satellite Rain once I get a chance to go and check that later on today. Yeah. And so moving forward, I can still see myself going back to Clear Obscure and Baldur's Gate, but just to get into that grinding phase and get through some of those bits that are holding me up now. The Clear Obscure boss I'm battling now it's a 3-1, so she's got her own boss battle, but there's two sort of what would you call them, chieftains that support her, and I managed to take them out. I'm just struggling with what's her name? Is it Serene, the Siren?
Yeah.
So I gotta go back and figure out how to do that, and that'll be for the plan for next month.
Very good.
How about yourself, Brian?
So I mentioned earlier that my mum isn't well, so this my mind's been a bit distracted. So my gaming is a bit erratic at the moment. Let me see. I played. I haven't finished. I'm still playing God of War Ragnarok. I loved God of War 2018. I think it was 2018. Yeah. But the first one, the reboot, that was a brilliant game. I loved it so much I went and platinumed it. It was the first time I had ever platinumed. It was a really good game. I started playing Ragnarok, and let me see. In the start of God of War 2018, you're at home, and some god comes and attacks you that you can't kill. In the start of God of War Ragnarok, you're at home, and some god comes, attacks you, and you can't kill him. So you end up again the exact same thing, and then both of them, you end up on a journey to go off and do something else. So, but Ragnarok, until today, I put in maybe 4 or 5 hours today. Until today, I was thinking this is it's basically like a rerun, just slightly different locations. But today, the mood slightly changed in that if you start doing some of the side missions, you start to see more depth in the characters. So I think Mimir is the head he carries on his belt. Yep. And he was a god, or is a god, I don't know. But he did some stuff in the past that he wasn't proud of, and it all came up, and he tried to fix it, and it didn't fix. And it's all about the fact, you can't fix your mistakes. You can't always fix your mistakes. So a slight bit more depth to character, which was good. So progression. I'm really getting into the combat in this as well. So it's quite good. I'm enjoying that game. So I'm not that far into it. I reckon most of next month I'll be playing that. I did play Viewfinder. And before we got that, I also played Arc Raiders. And Arc Raiders is very good. It is very good. I've only done solo, but every time you go out, you're nervous. I'm scared. I've only once gone out with my own loadout, and I died. So I've been going out with 3 loadouts from then on. I'm saving my stuff, but it's good. It's really, really tense. I don't know why. I know you've only got, I think a run is 15 minutes at the longest, or something like that.
It's 30 minutes. But when you're new, you're trying to get out as soon as you can.
Yeah, I just go pick stuff up, fill my bag up, and then run to get out. And it's like you shouldn't run in the game because the things chase you. They hear you, and it's good. It's very, very good. I enjoy it.
Oh, thanks for that, Brian. That makes me feel better about not getting it.
Well, wait till we get to the end. We've got a question coming in at the end. But then aside from that, I played Viewfinder. Okay, so we start with Viewfinder. Both of you, did you like Viewfinder? Yes. 2 yeses.
I loved the world. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved the whole feel of the game. I loved the puzzles. I thought it was nice the way it slowly built on top of every level. Every level was just a wee bit more, just pushing. Yeah. And then you get to the last episode, and it throws a curveball in and says, "Hey, by the way, this is now a timed event. Go." And that was a wee bit of a that was a wee bit of a sucker punch. It made it much harder to finish that last level. But getting up to that point, I really enjoyed the progression all the way through that game.
I totally agree. Progression is brilliant. You have like small problems, and they keep building and building, giving you new ways of doing it. I thought there was an instruction of time things at the start where you could like build up a capacitor, hold the energy, and then you could go and run while that was started counting down. And I thought that was really good, really well done. The whole way through, I thought, but that cat, I'm sorry, the cat really annoyed me. He just, the whole way through, he just annoyed me. And then he starts pulling the sad eyes at you and saying, no, you spoilers of the game. But, if you do this, I might die. And I don't care. I don't care. So you've annoyed me the whole way through this. It's just, the game, play the game for the puzzles. The puzzles are very, very good. I thought they were brilliant. Even the last level with the timed, there's no way you can complete it the first couple of attempts because you've got to get to each thing, figure out how to get on, how to pass that puzzle and get on to the next one, all within the time. Yeah. And you have a rewind mechanic in the game, but on the last level, even if you hit rewind, the countdown doesn't go back. That shocked me because it took me a couple of attempts doing it. I was like, wait a second, the time's going down the whole time. Puzzles are brilliant. If the cat had only shut up, then I would have liked it a lot more. The world itself, the realization was really well done. The graphics, very good. But the cat annoyed me. Other than that, I thought it was good. Rich, what about yourself?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I guess to give a quick kind of overview of what it is, it's a puzzle game. So typically you're trying to reach a portal at the end of your level, and sometimes you need batteries to power the portal and that kind of thing. And the mechanic to do it is you've got a camera either in your hand, or sometimes there's kind of a fixed camera, and you take pictures of the environment. And then when you take the picture, you can then place it, you can rotate it. And when you place it, it essentially creates like a new section of world as per the picture. And so it did some just really, really clever things with that. And you could also put filters on your camera. So you'd have this kind of, would you describe it as cartoon-like kind of graphics?
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
But then when you take a picture, you could put a filter on it, and you could make it cell shaded, or you can make it black and white, or that kind of thing. So you'd create worlds within worlds and step seamlessly between them, from a world that looks like one thing into a world that looks like another thing and back. So I found that really good, and there was lots of playing with gravity and sound and lots of different styles of puzzles, which I found really, really good. I didn't care a jot for the story.
Yeah.
It's one of those, normally I'd get really engrossed in the story, but I found it, maybe because I was kind of so focused on the puzzles, that the story almost didn't matter. All I cared about was getting to the end, and, to hell with the cat, whatever. But I found it really, really good. It was one of those where, for me, it was actually a touch too long. So once I was 2/3 the way through, I was like, I just want to finish this. So I had been religiously collecting all the little items that are bonus items and doing all the bonus extra levels that were optional. And then by the end, I was just like, let's just get this done.
Yeah, can't believe those filters. And you kept saying you've unlocked filters, but I never saw where to use them, so I never tried them.
They didn't change the game at all, Brian. So all the filters did was make that distinction between what was generated from a photo versus what was in the level to start with. So you didn't miss anything by not using the filters. It would just have made it clearer to you what that distinction was between the photo and the real world. Oddly enough, the cat didn't annoy me that much. It was those little robot vacuum cleaners that I developed some weird hatred for, and I took great pleasure in just dropping them off the map. I'd just nudge them off the map every time I saw them.
I know I picked up blueprints for them as well. I didn't know what to do with the blueprints. When you held them up, you could get them to work. They come into life again. But I thought I was playing through one. You got three blueprints.
Yeah.
So I let one, brought them to life, and then thought, is this what I'm supposed to do? So I thought, no, I rewind, and then kept the three blueprints because I thought maybe something would happen when I go to the next level, and nothing ever happened. I thought, oh well, I made a mistake there, but yeah. I did kill the first one I came across because you get an award when you try.
Yeah.
You do.
An award, whatever thing popped up on the screen saying that he had died. So yeah. No, the game.
I think you get a similar one if you drop the only battery that you got in the level off the edge of the map as well. It gives you another trophy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I thought the puzzles were very good.
Yeah.
They were. It was a bit like, what's that? Is it Superliminal? Is it Superliminal, the game?
Yeah, that's
when
right.
you view things at a certain angle, you can see things, and it was really good. I love the puzzles. I just got annoyed with the cat. The story about the world dying and whatnot, that was okay. It's actually probably appropriate to the world or environment now, but and I won't get into the end, but it was done quite well. But the cat just annoyed me. Even the girl who you get phone calls from another character off screen all the time, and her voice acting I thought was quite good. She was like really enthusiastic and stuff at the start, and as it goes, you progress deeper and deeper, she gets more and more worried. But the cat just, I don't know. Other than that, that was it. The cat was not for me. I like dogs.
Maybe there's a mod.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. That's it. That's sum up all we've played. Anybody got any?
Yeah. No, I think that's about it.
Okay. News? Any?
What's been happening since the last episode was recorded? Man, well, I mean, right after the last episode was recorded, I think the PlayStation 5 boot ROM keys were hacked. And so it'll be interesting to see if there's going to be new PlayStation 5 hardware variant coming out to try and resolve that. Oddly enough, it seems to be gone quite quiet after that story was published. So whether it was real news or not, who knows? But that was certainly one of the top stories early in January. I know that the Anthem shut down on January the 12th. For anybody that still cares, I don't know that anybody was still playing Anthem.
People do. Yeah. I've been watching people streaming it like furiously, just trying to rinse every last ounce of fun out of the game. And actually, I'd not really seen much of it. I remember being really excited about the game, and then obviously it hard flopped. But there's a loyal following out there, and people were trying to give it the beans before it disappeared.
All right. Too little, too late, though, you know? Yeah. I know that we've just had a whole bunch of news coming out now about, what's coming for Xbox. And Fable is one of the games that sort of my ears pricked up when I heard that they were doing a Fable reboot, because I seem to recall really enjoying the first Fable when it came out. I missed all the ones in between. I believe there were other ones that came out after the original one. But the new Fable looks like just more of the same. Although apparently there's 1,000 NPCs that you can marry. But I don't know if that's marrying one of the 1,000 or all 1,000 at once. We'll have to wait until the game comes out to find out for sure,
Yeah, the game's set in Utah.
Maybe get a platinum. Get a platinum if you marry all 1,000.
Yeah.
Platinum rings. Yeah.
One of the things I did see as well on the hardware front is NVIDIA have just released a new monitor. It's a G-Sync Pulsar monitor. I don't know if you've seen anything about this. And they reckon it's going to be doing such a high refresh rate. It's like 1,000 hertz refresh rate or higher that will target motion blur and match the blur rate to the human retina's capacity. So, again, whether that ever ends up coming out at a price that normal humans and mortal beings can afford, I don't know. But it'll be pretty impressive if it does come out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really good. You keep looking at the panels like the OLEDs and whatever, and you get worried about burn-in and stuff. But no, would that refresh rate make any difference? Don't know. But
not to burn rate, I don't think.
Yeah, especially as a PC, you've always got if you're not just gaming on it, you've got your Windows or your Linux up. You've got your toolbar down the bottom or on the side of the screen or whatever. That's there static the whole time. So you'll start to see burning on that quite quick. No, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully there's a new technology whether who was using it? TCL? I think we're using it on their screens, where they're putting. I'm now talking about stuff I don't really know. Not unusual, but I know less about this. But they've got a new technology they're trying to push, where they're getting rid of the burn-ins on the screens. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Anyway, go look up news on TCL. I think it was TCL. Wasn't it? Yeah.
I did hear a story during the month, now that I recall it, from one of the other podcasts I listened to, another gaming podcast, and the guy was saying that he started the year, he had a Steam Deck and he had a Switch 2, and he loved both of them. And he was looking at his Switch 2 and he thought, got a slightly bigger screen than the Steam Deck. Wouldn't it be cool if I could get a Steam Deck equivalent that had the same size screen as the Switch 2? So he sold his Steam Deck and he went and he bought himself one of these Legion Go portable devices, same size screen, and he played on those and he thought, this is all right, but the UI is clunky and it's a nice big screen, but everything else about it is pretty shit. So he sold his Legion Go, and he bought himself another Steam Deck. So he's burnt all this money, and he's ended the month at exactly the same point he started at.
Well, I think Steam they've released their OS now, so I've got a Legion Go, and kind of one of my gamer friends has been encouraging me to get the install of the Steam OS on my Legion Go.
Yeah.
Which apparently it will boost your frame rate just because the operating system's not hammering it, and also you get less annoyance. But the downside for me is the whole reason I bought the Legion Go was the ease of being able to get all my game launchers on there and just launch any of the games, and play them natively and all of that kind of stuff, which I know you can do via Steam, but having had a Steam Deck previously, it is a faff to try and to get your epic games in there. It's totally doable, but it's a faff, and then you got a faff getting all the game images for your loading screens and stuff. So it is doable,
but you end up with another clunky interface that you would have probably had less of hassles with if you just stuck with the default OS.
Yeah.
Welcome to Linux. Everything's well. When I used to use Linux years back, it always felt like extra trouble to do anything. I loved the operation systems. They were more fluid. Everything moved on the screens easier and crisper, and it was primarily the exact same except for gaming. But nowadays you can now game on them. I keep looking at doing it because I'm still on Windows 10 on this laptop. I can move to 11, but I hate having to move I don't know, what's the bar? Your start bar? The taskbar. I hate having to move that down to the bottom of the screen. So I'm running on the side because the screen's wide. I don't want to take up a huge amount of space. Windows will not let me do it.
No, it's locked there. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about pulling down a few and just running them off the memory card to see how they go, to see what they're like. Do you use Windows now primarily on your gaming PCs?
Yeah. Work is all Linux. I live in Linux land, but certainly for desktop home use, it's all Windows.
Yeah, I'll have to see. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I keep saying that.
Oh.
Have you got any other news? That was it?
That's all I had. What about you guys?
I saw Samsung and SK Hynix are now going to stop NAND production and focus on DRAM, which will mean more expensive SSDs and huge profits for those companies as they're producing more RAM. So, yay for them. We're screwed. So building a PC is going to get more and more expensive, as if it isn't bad enough already. You mentioned NVIDIA earlier. Did I hear they're pushing the 30 series and the 40 series rather than the 50?
Yeah, there's been a hold up with certainly the 5090s. I think they're having a hold up with producing those to the volume that they need. And so I think in the interim, they've tried to convince people just to go for the older generations and start to make those prices a bit more affordable, in the hope that they can keep people on their side and not lure the enemy,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy thing to do this. And then the best news the whole month was the fact that Blake 7 is coming back, or will hopefully come back. So, huge fan of that from back in the 70s that was on, probably. Yeah.
I take it new actors. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many of them are still alive. Is that
Yeah,
that
no.
old review show? But yeah, I wonder if they'll put support behind the walls, or they still wobble. But looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll come back. Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's me done on the news. Any of you see games that you coming out this next month that you were interested in, or I don't know, could make you cry because they're coming out?
So there's a few, aren't there? So on my little list, somebody's mentioned to me a game called Wanderberg, which again is kind of Vampire Survivors style a little bit, but you're essentially driving like this kind of like medieval turret around, and then there's all bunches of enemies that come at you, and you can kind of upgrade your turret. That looks like a lot of fun. There's Cairn, which is the climbing game.
Yes.
There's been a lot of kind of hype and excitement about that. I've watched some trailers, and I couldn't get a sense of what the gameplay is going to be like. But I know for sure that in a normal year, that's the kind of game that I'd have bought and tried and found out. Whereas obviously I can't, so I'll watch that one with interest.
Because Karen, you control your hands and your feet, so you've got 4 points to be trying to grab onto something. You're using controlling all 4 appendages to try to climb. But it looks interesting and punishing. Let's see that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you were saying about
potentially a lot of fun.
Yeah.
007 First Light got moved, didn't it? I think it was due out next month, but it's not coming out till May now. But that looks interesting.
Is it? Oh wow, I hadn't heard that.
And then what else? There's Mario Tennis Fever, which is the kind of game that I'd have found the excuse to buy just because family, but secretly it would have been for me. So that's one I'm actually really glad that I'm doing the Year of Shame, because that would have been however much Nintendo games are now, probably 70 quid for a game that I'd probably play for 5 hours. So there we go. I can bank that money.
Good. What date are we? We are 24th today. We're recording 24th. So 2 days ago, a game came out called Blade Song. Who was I? I think it was, trying not to remember who was playing that. I think it was somebody on Joysticks and Chill, and they were saying it's a really good game. It's basically you're a blacksmith and just trying to create more and more swords and stuff. But they reckoned it was quite good. I think they played a demo and they were saying it was quite good. I Hate This Place, which has got a really good title, but I'm not sure how good the game is going to be. It's like a isometric survival horror game. I watched some videos of it. It does look good, but I'm not sure if I would play it the whole way through. And I think you got Neo 3 out on us next month. But yeah, that's all for this month. I suppose we're at the end of the month, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Romeo is a Dead Man. Have you seen trailers for that? Yeah, that looks quite good. It looks really bizarre, really weird, but I would like to see more of it. And there's a game called Reanimal. Wasn't that a movie? Were they movies? Reanimal?
It was Reanimator. Yeah.
Reanimate, yeah. So I don't know. Oh, it's from the people who made Little Nightmares.
Reanimal. Okay. Interesting. That was a sleeper hit that I encountered from last year, based on you guys with last year's series. So I might have to have a look at that one.
Reanimal looks quite good. People made the original Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares 2.
Right.
Oh, that looks... Oh, yay. No, it'll be crap, don't worry. It's going to be crap. It's going to be crap. Oh, well, wait. I can't wait to hear the reviews of this. But yeah, be interesting. So that's about it's coming out, well, in the near future. A Slay the Spire 2 is coming out.
Ooh.
Not for me.
Oddly enough, looking at the list of upcoming games, nothing's grabbing me, you know? I might be in that sort of jaded period where there's just too much on my backlog to play, but there's nothing that I'm looking at here going, oh, damn, what have I done this year? So fingers crossed it lasts.
Can make it for another month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than you guys with the Arc Raider stories, and I must admit, Rich, watching you and the guys playing it on your recording that you shared, there's a scene where, was it Ben, decided to attack one of the massive robots with his baseball bat or something. That just made me laugh out loud. Everybody else is lobbing grenades and he's just whacking away with these fleets.
Blinking away.
Yeah.
Every bit of damage counts. So yes, I am feeling a bit left out there, but the year is but young.
That's it.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, that's about it. Marathons out in March. Wow.
Yeah.
I see. So yeah,
and again, that just looks the art style they've chosen for that just looks odd to me. I don't know what it is about it, but it just looks different.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I'm just looking at pictures of it now. Not to see how it goes. Forza Horizon is out as well. Is it? Oh, it's in May. Forza Horizon's coming out. It got announced recently.
That's May.
That'll be Ben. Will be all over that. But yeah, so it'll be quite interesting. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, there's if anybody watches the video, there's a section where they're driving through the snowy area. So you can see really the road is maybe 20 feet below the level of the snow. And that's an area of Japan called Aomori. And I'm hoping to go there in 2 weeks' time. I think it is 2 weeks. I'm hoping to go there. It is crazy. They regularly get around 23 feet of snow built up because the snow doesn't freeze. It just keeps snowing. It's really powdery snow. It's lovely. But I'm hoping to go that way in 2 weeks' time. Should be.
Will they still have snow in 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
I saw pictures from the other day, and the snow is it's like white outside because the snow would just keep flowing the whole time. But it's they would get a meter of snow overnight.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was in a place not quite as snowy but similar. Everybody, instead of having a lawnmower, they have personal snow plows. So it's like a different thing. So you got to go around your car to try and get to your car, so you can then get your car out to the main road. It's just nuts. That's nuts. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah. We've got the questions from the community.
Yeah, we've had 5 questions come through. So the first is from let's do them in reverse order, shall we? So we've got Ben from last year. So it's best of luck with the first shows, guys. Can't wait. Question: how are you getting settled in? Sorry, now you are getting settled in. Have your plans from day one changed, and how you will handle the year ahead? Rich.
Yeah, I'd say they have changed actually from day one. So before the year started, I'd made a big long list of games from A to Z, and I was kind of like, I'm going to focus on these. And within about 2 or 3 days, I realised I'd left Cyberpunk off that list, which is a game that is sitting in my backlog, and I'd love to play it. So straight away, whatever plans you make just fall apart as soon as things start. And I think the other thing is that the way that I play games, I do like to finish a game, but actually I get my main joy out of trying games. So rather than having that hard and fast list of I'm going to get through all of these, I'll still pick off ones that I do want to finish, but I'm going to really enjoy, like I was saying earlier with the Astrea, I'm going to just go through that big long backlog and pick out things and give them a try. So there might be quite a lot of games that I talk about having only played an hour or 2 of them, but that's what I like. So that's what I'm going to do. How about you, Stuart?
Yeah, so I initially went in with a very open-ended approach to it. I had this list and I was going to work through it magically, selecting games as the wind took me. And I quickly realized that was probably not the best thing to do. And so I followed your example and I went through and I picked out for each letter of the alphabet a group of them. It wasn't just one game each. There might have been 3 or 4 in each letter of the alphabet. And then at the start of January, I thought, okay, I'm going to pick one from A and one from Z. And I'll work my way through the list, meeting in the middle. And that way, and hence why we had the Zombie Driver game on the list for what was played this year, this month rather, as well as something from the start of the alphabet in Redacted, which is sort of pre-A because it's got the square brackets around it.
Oh, of course.
And so I think I'll start following that same pattern, and I'll pick 2 or 3 from either end of the queue, and hopefully work my way through a large chunk of those games that are on the list that I've pre-selected as being something of interest. Now, granted, there's going to be stuff there that has never ever been considered, and so I'll be keeping an eye on what you guys are playing and seeing whether there's any overlap in our list there that I might be able to pick up something that's completely left field for me as well. Brian, what about yourself?
Like from day one, which was a year and a half ago, a year and a couple of days ago, I have made a change. Yeah, recently I started to become a bit more active on as you mentioned, there are other gaming podcasts. One I listen to is Tales from the Backlog, and they do a thing where you have a games resolution. So they run this massive Google Sheets thing. You put down the games you want to play, and you tick them off as you go throughout the year. And they have it like the HLTB, the Home to Beat list of the hours beside each game as well. So I think there's maybe 50 or 60 people doing this at the moment. They're gamers resolutions. I think it was 40 last year. I haven't counted the number of people this year, but I'm on fill that in. And like Viewfinder was the first one I've knocked off. I'm working on the others, but I've a set list of games I want to complete. Whereas last year, there were games I wanted to complete, but I didn't have a list. I didn't have a set down, and just, I guess, a touch of ADHD. I sort of just got distracted by whatever games were going around and popping up on my screen. I'll play this, I'll play that. And so I now have a list of games I want to play, and I'm going to stick to it. I swear I'm going to stick to it. Cyberpunk is one of them. So
nice.
It'll be interesting if we start playing along together. But
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. And they even on the Discord for the Tales from the Backlog, they have one for Baldur's Gate 3, and they're trying to set up a group of people playing the game at the same time, so they can keep each other going through the long game. So I may join in along on that as well, along with you, Stuart. We'll see if we can hopefully get through this game.
It'd be interesting to see whether you follow the same game pattern as me, where you're taking one step and fast saving, another step, fast save, another step. I've got about 1,000 fast saves on the go here.
That's it. It was F7. So
yeah. F5 in this
one.
F5 is fast save. Yeah.
F5. So that's. I remember just doing that the whole time. But so I've set down a list of games I'm going to complete. If we pick games between us, I may add them in, but it's mainly these set games. So they are all long games. A majority of them are long games, but it's like a sense of dread because of the backlog. These long games are sitting there. I feel like they're weighing over me. I want to get them cleared so that I can start on afresh next year. So that's where I'm going, or what the plan is for this year.
Is there a danger with that, Brian, that you end up not enjoying the game as much as you should enjoy? Because games like The Witcher and Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate are really, really good games. But I'm worried that by pushing yourself to get through it, you're not going to enjoy it as much as you really should, some of these games do require that you take the time. So is it worthwhile maybe looking at only doing one?
Maybe. But then I've got the next 10 years lined up. I'm not doing this for the next 10 years.
You could do a whole decade. Come on. Decade of shame.
Well, let me see. I've got the games on they're on that page.
You heard it here first, people.
No. Because Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, they are all large games. I'm partway through Witcher 3. Cyberpunk, I only did the demo, so I've never really played it. Baldur's Gate, again, I did the demo, so I've never really played it. So I've got those two full games to play. I know Witcher 3, the problem with them, it's the exact same when I play Elden Ring. I see a mountain, let's go there. Let's see what's over there. Let's explore. I don't progress because I just keep getting distracted the whole time. So we'll see. If I get to the point where I'm not enjoying the game, I will stop it and put it on the side and move on to another one. But I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. Don't be coming here for advice from anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Last year didn't work out, so I didn't complete any of these long games. So this year I'm going to complete some of them, I hope. Cool. Maybe I'll be doing Witcher 3 for the rest of the year. Yeah. But we'll see.
All right. Let's have a look at the next question from Adam Edwards. What was the last game you each bought, and are you already regretting your choices? Oh, that's quite easy for me, because the last game I bought was Clear Obscure. And no, I'm definitely not regretting my choices. I'm enjoying it. I've hit that wall, as I said earlier, but I'll keep battering away at it, and eventually we'll get through it and carry on going. The game itself is still very much something I want to keep playing. So no regrets so far. Brian, what about yourself?
The last game I bought was Arc Raiders. Am I regretting it? Very, very, very possibly. The game is brilliant. The game is awesome. I could just see myself spending the next year playing that game alone. And I don't know. So far I've only played solo, and God knows if I start to get in on groups, the pull will be just even worse. But it's just the tension builds up. It is really good game, and I could see it ruining this entire year. I may have made a mistake. I may possibly have made a mistake because he's like, I thought Paul was saying he was going to buy it. Ben has bought it. Rich is playing it, and then there's so many people from the Logbox group playing it, and just on the Facebook MLG playing it. And it's like, I don't know. When you look at I looked at the friends list. Bloody everybody has got this game. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to play it only at weekends, and then play the game, my dedicated game, through the week, so that I limit the amount of time I play. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So that was my
possible regret.
Thanks again. That still makes me feel better about not having it. Okay, Rich. What about yourself?
Patreon money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think I've got two answers. I mean, the honest answer is I don't actually know, and that is part of the problem, isn't it? Because if you subscribe to all the humble choice and all of that kind of stuff, I can't necessarily put my finger on what the last game was that took my money. But the last game that I kind of consciously bought was also Arc Raiders, and I very much don't regret it. It's what Brian said. It's one of those. There's a risk I could end up playing it for the whole year, but I don't think none of us end up on here because we only play one game.
Yeah,
because we're all sitting on a massive backlog of games. But what I'll find with it, just like Rocket League, is it's the kind of game that it's always an option, and I'll always get a couple of play sessions on it over whatever period of time. So I totally don't regret it, and I'd go as far as to say that it's probably the reason why I took the plunge to do this Year of Shame, because I was that taken with it on launch that I was kind of like, I can survive a year without buying new stuff because I've got my Arc Raiders.
A pre-Joker.
This, that's I just can see somebody's gonna have to, when we do the edit. Like, nobody has ever done one game for the whole year, and then his voice popping in at the end saying, "And little did he know."
Yeah. Good stuff.
We'll see how it goes.
Cool. So Stuart Whitehouse had the next question, which was, apart from not buying any games, did you have any New Year's resolutions? And if so, what were they? Let's start with you, Rich.
Okay, yeah. So I do this thing where I always do write down New Year's resolutions. So I think it's in the time off between Christmas and New Year. I always find myself in front of a fireplace full of food and thinking of things that I need to do better or more. So on my list, I'm reading it off my phone now. So I've got a fitness goal, and I won't go into all of the details of this, but I break down different bits of fitness into like points. So for instance, if I run a kilometre, that is 1 point. And if I swim 10 lengths of a pool, that is a point. And for all the various different types of exercise, I've got these points values. So I've got to do 250 points worth of exercise each quarter of the year. And then the thing that I did with this house was, over a period of time, I'd choose like a room each month to be like the focus. This is when I'd been living here for a decade and it was starting to look a bit tired. So choose a room of the month and then focus that month on thinking about things that will make it better. So lick of paint or moving furniture around or just giving it a clean up. So I vowed to do that with the new house that I move into. I'm hoping to move next month. So I'm going to do room of the month with the new house. I've got Year of Shame written on there. Do the Year of Shame. I've got read 12 books, watch 12 movies, play 12 different board games, and I haven't done dry January, but it's just not quite as wet.
Moist?
Moist January. Yeah. So there's a good list there. It feels like that one's achievable. Don't spend the entirety of January drinking. That's me.
Excellent.
How about you, Brian?
I was going to try and read more. So I mentioned this last episode that I have a new book. I'm going to, the big thing I'll do is I'm turning the subtitles on in games, so a lot more reading and on Netflix. But I would like to get fitter, and I've been toying with an idea for the past while, as I work for a couple of days a week in junior high school, and the kids are always racing around doing exercise after school. They have club activities. So I have an idea that I might join them and go running around the school. Now they're all 14, 15, so I'll be having a heart attack. Like you're saying, if you do 10 lengths of a swimming pool, you get 1 point. If I do 10 lengths of a swimming pool, I'll end up in the morgue. At the moment, it's not going to happen. I am extremely unfit. At like going upstairs. Well, it was the asthma from COVID and stuff, but going upstairs, if I go, I do 4 flights of stairs in work, and by the time I get to the top, I'm out of breath. So I need to get aerobic fitness. So I'm thinking about maybe I'll join. It's just when going into summer, and these kids are racing around in summer, that'll kill me or ruin me altogether. So we'll see. It also depends on the school whether they'll let me join in. But yeah, it'd be interesting to do it. Trying to speak English breathless. They'll be lapping me a lot anyway. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So what was the next question?
I didn't make any resolutions at all.
Oh, good. Yes, sorry.
No, it's all right, Brian.
I'm so confused.
I don't tend to make any. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't tend to make any resolutions year on year. I'm the same as you. I could probably do with increasing my my fitness level. I'm extremely unfit 56-year-old. But I've been type 1 diabetic since 1986 and on an insulin pump, which should have made things easier, but just makes things a lot more sort of difficult, because anytime I do anything outside of the normal pattern, the diabetic pancreas sort of feedback loop says, at this point in the day, you should be getting this much insulin. And so if I go and hang the washing up or take the dog for a walk, suddenly my blood sugars plummet and I end up having to eat my own body weight in jelly beans, which doesn't help with weight control, unfortunately. But it does keep me alive. So, I'm sort of limited in what I can and can't do. And that's my excuse, damn it.
Do you have the patch on as well?
Yeah, so I've got one on my arm here. So it's got the little thing up there. And then you've got the pump in your body down below.
And they feed into each other?
They form a feedback loop via your mobile phone. So the mobile phone app is basically telling it how much to inject every second of the day type thing, Yeah.
Amazing.
So it does make it harder to do anything outside of the norm. You have to ease into any change just so the algorithm can keep up with what the anticipated plan is,
Yeah.
It also makes international travel different and difficult, because if it's expecting you to be asleep at the point in the day that it thinks it's at, and suddenly you're getting up to have your breakfast, you have a few days where you go out of whack a little bit. So you need to cater for all that stuff, But I do need to do something. I am very conscious of the fact that I don't do any exercise whatsoever other than walking the dog, and I need to be doing more. Yep. So it's not a resolution, but it's certainly a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. All right. So the next question came from Stuart Cullen. Do you feel that gaming FOMO is just a manufactured concept, and that a hobby that's essentially designed to never end? What does enough look like to you in terms of the games you own? With that in mind, would you say doing the Year of Shame is more an act of self-care or a quiet rebellion against the system, in quotes? Oh, this is a deep question. For me, it's definitely self-care, I think. It's recognizing that there is an activity of unnecessary spending, and there is a building up of a backlog that is wasteful to a degree. And so, do I have enough games? Yeah, if you speak to my wife, she'd say, yes, I do. If you speak to me, I'd say, I probably do. Will I ever go back to buying games year one when they come out? I probably will as well post this. But I think I'll be a lot more selective in what I tend to focus on and what I tend to buy moving forward. Definitely. What about yourself, Brian?
Ben, the year before he did Year of Shame 13, he said he spent most of the previous year basically doing the whole challenge of not buying games. I had done pretty much the same, and throughout the year before doing the year shame, I had absolutely no FOMO. The games all came along. I thought there were good games on the year, but I felt no urge that I need to play this. There was no hotness that attracted me. Last year, Arc Raiders hit, and that really hit me. Now, I don't play online an awful lot with people because the time difference is difficult, but listening to everybody playing the game, I've never really had that experience. So the FOMO really hit me, which is the reason I picked up the game in the first place. So I do think FOMO exists. It may be purely self-manufactured, and it's not by the gaming advertising, whatever, trying to push you. But I did feel that FOMO does exist. So yeah, I did for me anyway. What does enough look like? Enough looks like your backlog plus the game that has just come out and as everybody's talking about. And that's enough. So when Blueprints came out at the start of last year, I wouldn't mind playing that game. I don't know if I like the game. I have it on the list for this year. But if I like listening to like veteran gamers and Chinny kept talking about how good this game is, so I want to get into it, try it. So enough is your backlog plus whatever the hotness for next year. Yeah, this is self-care. If you use Reddit, there's a subreddit called Patient Gamer. I've been a patient gamer for years. So I rarely buy games as they come out day one. Other than my Arc Raiders was probably 3 months after it came out or 2 months after it came out. I haven't bought day one in years, but it's the Steam sales. They come out and you go, tenner, I can get 3 games that I really wanted to play. So that's where I fall down. And so this is self-care. I want 1000X Resist. The PlayStation app keeps telling me all these games that have just come out. Steam app pops up all these. Must be like 20 games have been on sale in the past week. One of them I saw today was 90% off. 90%. Oh. You can't. Like, you're saving money by buying it. So yeah, this is self-care. I'm not. When the notifications pop up in the app, I just swipe. I'm not looking at the sales anymore. I'm trying not to look at the sales. It's self-care.
Oh, good.
Not rebellion. Against the system.
Right.
Rich, how about you?
So for me, I mean, FOMO, it's a weird one. I think it depends, doesn't it? So you've got your game devs and your platforms trying to create FOMO and doing all their marketing and doing their job trying to sell their games and get people excited about the games. I tend not to massively get FOMO. I don't play a huge amount of multiplayer games, but there's certain games, and because I'm on Twitch and watching other people on Twitch, quite often people will be streaming a day one release, and that does generate a bit of FOMO where I'm like, I could do with a bit of this. But what I find, I'm kind of like Brian. Steam sales is the thing, so I maintain a big long wish list of stuff, and when the Steam sale comes up, it's like perfect. Let's don't have to spend much here and get loads of new stuff. So they'll only get cheaper over this year, so I'm not too worried about those. But then there's the odd game where it's not even FOMO. It's just I need this. So Arc Raiders, I'd pre-ordered it, and they created a bit of FOMO by if you buy the deluxe edition as a pre-order, then you get these extra outfits and this many in-game coins and all of that stuff, which I don't normally fall into. But there's it's like the above A grade games for me, where it's like I'm all in, I'm sold, take my money and take more. So there's a little bit of that. In terms of what does enough look like, I've got enough. That's why I'm doing this. There's plenty in there. And when there's things like Cyberpunk that didn't even, for whatever reason, didn't even make my short to medium list, there's plenty of beauty in the backlog to be played. And I think the third part of that question is totally self-care. I'm not fighting the system. I like the system. Part of my gaming hobby, rightly or wrongly, is not just playing games, but it is browsing those stores. That's one of the things I found hardest. It's not really the not buying stuff, but I found myself browsing the stores less, because obviously that is an act of self-torture this year. So, but I would always enjoy that, and whether I'm wasting my time by doing that instead of playing games, I don't know. We'll find out as the year plays out whether I truly missed that, or whether that was just a weird habit.
I like the system. I love that. Yes, yeah.
I guess I've been burnt too often with buying something day one, and then it ends up having to have 4 months of patches to get it to a point where you can actually enjoy it. I
Yeah.
think the last game that I was really excited about would have been No Man's Sky, and we all know how that turned out. If you look back and you look at what The Witcher 3 was like when it came out, and Cyberpunk, they were train smashes. So going in day one and getting caught up in all the fervor about the new shiny coming out doesn't always work, and it can actually put you off the game to the point where you never go back to it. And I wonder, Rich, whether that's why Cyberpunk is sitting on your pile and not being looked at, because
It is.
you would have obviously got it, tried it, and gone, well, this is a pile of garbage, and you move on.
I bought it first on an Xbox disc, and I remember, I think I was probably working on the day it came out, so it had come in the post. It was there in the cellophane, and I watched a stream of friends streaming it day one, and I could see the absolute dog's dinner that it was.
Mhm.
And I left it in the cellophane for 2 years, and then I think I sold it in the cellophane and bought it back for less than I'd sold it for on PC, like a couple of years later once it was fixed.
Oh well.
Crazy.
That's a difficult one, because you want to encourage companies to only publish games once they're fit to be published and not rush things to market. But at the same time, they're obviously having to do that to motivate the amount of development effort that's gone into it and start to recover their costs. So how do you find that careful balance of putting something out there that's in a playable state and get people excited, but doesn't cause your entire company to go bust in the act of producing this thing,
Yeah.
Because it does usually need a lot more testing out in the wild than you can possibly ever pay for yourself internally in the company. So I don't know what the answer is, but yes, I agree. We're not rebelling against the system. It's all about self-care.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of generative AI, and I don't like seeing people put out of jobs. But QA work is, like, I almost applied to do QA work over here. It is boring. It's repetitive. If you can get QA helping with things to make sure things, well, I suppose even if you did flag all the errors and problems beforehand, it still delays the game and affects everything. So I don't even know. I don't even know if it's just highlighting the issue even more before it's even released. Don't think it'll delay the release. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
God, I don't know the answer. That's tough. Yeah.
No, none of us do.
Yeah.
We just know why we're doing it. Anyway, there we go. So the last question is from Blair Ferguson. Sorry, did everyone get a chance to answer that? I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Blair Ferguson's question is, out of the games on your pile, what are you most looking forward to playing? Is there anything due for release this year that you're worried may break you? All the best and good luck for the year ahead. So that's an easy one for me, because the games on my pile that I'm most looking forward to playing are the ones that I'm playing right now. Claire Obscure and Baldur's Gate 3. Anything due for release this year that you're worried may break you? No, not right now. I'm not seeing anything that I want to go and splash cash down on and either have as a gift or as a joker right now, other than Arc Raiders. So that's the one that I might potentially have to cave on, depending on how much of a strong arm I get from you guys here about how much I'm missing out. But that's all I've got on mine. Rich?
So yeah, for me, there's so many things on that list that I would look forward to playing. I mean, we've just been talking about Cyberpunk. That kind of stands out. So I've played up to the bit where Keanu appears in it. I think if I go again this year, I'll probably start again from scratch. And it's a wonderful game. So I'm really looking forward to that. In Arc Raiders, obviously, I almost don't count that as a backlog game. And Brian, I think you mentioned it before, 1,000 Times Resist.
Yes.
Which I picked up, I don't know, summer last year. And it's what I keep doing this with games, play the first couple of hours. And it was intriguing. I didn't find it brilliant, but so many people have rave reviewed that game that, again, I think I'll just rewind, go back to the start and play that. But I think that the most exciting thing is that backlog is there, and all those hundreds of games that have been essentially shelved forever, really. They haven't seen our time of day, and they were doomed. They're all back out there. So it's not this big long list of shit that I don't want to play. It's now a big long list of stuff that could be great. And then finally, just in terms of stuff that's going to break me, so the Forza Horizon 6 reveals this week have already kind of broken me. I'd got friends sending me WhatsApp messages saying, "Oh, have you seen it? Have you seen it?" And I'm kind of like, "La la ears, no."
Friends.
And then they were sending me YouTube videos. It's so I've always just dived in deep on those. So that's tough. But it's Grand Theft Auto. It's not till November, but the tradition of a lifetime of absolute day one purchase, day off work, get into the campaign. That's going to have to wait.
Cool.
How about you, Brian?
Yeah, pretty much like you said, the games on my list, they're all games I want to play. I've got God of War, Disco Elysium, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate 3, Witcher 3, Death Stranding, Kentucky Route Zero, Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Elden Ring, Returnal, just if I get bored. Arc Raiders, I think they were all supposed to be pretty good games.
Yeah.
So I really, really want to play them. But after, the only reason I'm playing God of War Ragnarok was there was a theory going out that it might get pulled from the PlayStation, because I haven't bought it. It's on the PlayStation Plus Extreme or whatever it's called.
Yep.
So this, I don't know. I think I will finish Elden Ring, but the game I'm probably looking forward to going back to or starting is Baldur's Gate 3. I've never played. I've done a bit of D&D, not a lot. A couple of what they call them single runs, or you don't play like a whole campaign. It's just a one-off type thing. So this would be interesting to get into the world of D&D. I know it's on a computer game, but yeah, it'll be interesting to get in and play and see how it all works out. But yeah, I think Baldur's Gate 3, it's also the game that out of all these, I am not so sure I will like. So I may ditch it if I don't like the whole way it works, but it's the game I'm really looking forward to trying out, because it's totally different to what I normally play. The whole dice play thing is different. It's intriguing, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I think that's the game I'm looking forward to most. Am I worried I'll break? There's two. Saros, which is the new Returnal.
That's the new Returnal, yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking at it. I've been asked, PlayStation keeps out saying, do you want to pre-order? There were no real benefit to doing it, but I'm so tempted. Returnal was eye-opening for me. I'd never played anything like it before. It was just amazing. But we'll try and hold off. We'll try and hold off. Yeah, we'll try and hold off. It's so good. Like, Returnal was punishing, so damn punishing, but getting through it was so good. Saros looks the exact same, so maybe I just like punishment. Maybe that's what it is.
Evidently.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. You bad boy. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Saros is going to be will be the time I feel weakest throughout this whole year. GTA, I've never played a GTA game, so I don't know. I never really. I think I had Vice City. My brother gave me his disc. I booted it up once and didn't like it, so I don't know. I don't care. Even if it puts on for another year, enough it doesn't bother me at all. I know the internet is going to come to a halt when that comes out, but I'll watch the videos. But I don't know. I don't see the appeal. But maybe that's just me. I haven't looked at it properly. So Saros is my weakness. But then I said Ghost of Yotai was Ghost of Yotai was my weakness last time, and I still got through it, and I didn't buy it when I had the chance. So I don't know. We'll see. I talk a lot of nonsense, and maybe it won't affect me at all.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
All right, that was it on the question front.
We should say, yeah, thanks everyone for sending those questions in, and keep them coming through the year.
Yeah, I to admit that was a huge number of questions and a lot of depth. I mean, don't like thinking. Make the questions easy.
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of cheese questions,
Yes, yeah, exactly. But that's
thank you all.
That was good, really good. Thank you. Thank you. That was good. Yeah. Anyway, so I assume we will put in some really fancy. It's me doing it, so it probably won't be fancy. Me doing socials this month, so we'll try and do fresh socials for you. You can get in touch with us on any of them. They will follow now.
Time for the socials. So you can get us on Spotify, podcasts, or on Apple Podcasts or YouTube at the Year of Shame Challenge. You can also get hold of us on Facebook, Year of Shame Challenge group, or indirectly through Midlife Gamer group. And there's an email, which I don't think is ever used ever, which is yearofshame@gmail.com.
And okay, thank you for listening to Year of Shame 14, season 14, the very first episode, or at least our first episode together. And thank you for going this. Well, oh my God, I can't speak the whole way through this podcast. I've made it. Well, I can't speak at the end. Thank you for making it this far. Thank you. And I'll see you next month. Whichever you want to say thank you next, or Rich.
Thanks, and see you next month.
Professionalism. This
I
will
know.
get better as we go along.
Yeah, I must admit, I've been dreading this first episode, so I'm glad we've got that under the belt. It was nowhere near as painful as I thought it was going to be. So my thanks to both of you guys for what's been a very enjoyable first episode, and looking forward to another 11 of them in the future.
Yeah. Next month I won't be hosting, so it'll be far more professional. Okay, we'll pass. With that, we'll pass. Say goodbye and catch you next month. See you. Bye.
So yeah.
Bye.